Hello and welcome to the fourth episode on our new series, Think Abundance. This is Samir Machwe, and here we play the game of abundance. Nature itself seeks growth, it wants to grow, and so does every human being. All of us seek growth, our design is growth, and every next day we want something better in our life. Hence, in this series, Think Abundance, we discuss different ideas, we discuss thoughts, we discuss stories, articles, experiences, books, and anything that will move us forward, that will help us grow, and that will help us enhance our experience of life. The whole thing is about abundance. So, this is the fourth session today, and we have been discussing different ideas in the last three episodes. I hope you have watched them. If not, it is time that you watch them. They are available on our YouTube channel FINDAS as well as on our Facebook page FINDAS. You can go there and check it out for themselves. Today, I am going to share with you 4 things that I use to keep myself rich. Over the years, I've developed different habits. I've developed a kind of mindset of looking at money. All of us, irrespective of whether you are educated, uneducated, you are qualified, you are a doctor, you are an engineer, doesn't matter. All of us have a money software here in our head. And the money you have in your life is a function of that software. And that software is created out of your interaction with money, both at the physical level as well as the mental level. It is the way you think about money and the way you use the money that you have determines how much money you will ultimately have in your life. So there are few things that I have created for myself, few habits, few ways of thinking about money that have helped me to stay financially abundant. The first thing, this I have already explained in a different way in our previous series on how to be rich for sure. So all of you who are interested in understanding how you can develop money related habits, you can go back and watch my series. We had 30 episodes in that series, how to be rich for sure. So here I use some of the same techniques in my own life. The first thing is I have learned over the years to live below my means. There are many things that I can easily afford, but I don't buy them. I just keep my expenses low. That is a choice I make very consciously, right? So I keep my expenses low, I keep my liabilities low. For example, when people come to me, I see that their housing loan EMI, the EMI that they pay on the housing loan is typically between 20% to 40% of their incomes. Now, there is no thumb rule that how much EMI is good or how much EMI is bad. But generally, my experience tells me that if your EMI exceeds 15 to 20%, you will have financial troubles in your life. In my case, I have managed it well that my EMI is very low. To give you an idea of how low, my EMI is just 1/10 of my monthly investments. So I give preference to my investments rather than to paying loans. So I have no other loans. I have kept the housing loan alive for some reason, for some other reason, because it gives me more ability besides tax benefits. It gives me ability to take yet another loan if needed, right? So this is one way I manage. I live below my means, and this habit has helped me to tide through this recent COVID pandemic. Last 2 years, the world is suffering, and all those people who suffered the most are those people who did not have good savings. All those people who did not have a contingency fund, something which would last them more than 6 to 12 months if their income stopped. All those people suffered a lot. All those people with bad financial habits when the times were good suffered a lot. So living below my means is one way I help myself. The second thing is I do a lot of thinking before I purchase anything, especially the bigger purchases. In today's world, with all of us being bombarded from all sides with different advertisement, shopping has become the modern day shopping addiction. So most of the times we think that smoking is addiction, drinking is addiction because it has got some physical effects, some bad effects on your body. But shopping is, even according to me, worse addiction because it not only damages your body but it attacks your mind. It keeps you poor, it keeps you middle class because it keeps on increasing your expenses, right? So when I need to purchase anything, when I need to make a decision, I have a conversation that goes on in my head. I ask myself, this thing which I am trying to buy, is it a thing that I want or is it a thing that I need? When I ask this question myself, I honestly do some thinking. And many times I find that if I were to purchase 10 things, 8 out of those things would be things that I want and I don't need. So the moment I get an answer in my mind that this is the thing that I want, I then make a practice to postpone it, right? So that is what I do. I will postpone that purchase. Okay, I will say let me then wait for a month or wait for some time before I buy it. But if the answer comes that I need it, then I would immediately buy it. So this is the mind game I play with myself, right? Now, before making any major purchases, I take enough time to think about it. Another thing that I do as a long time practice is I first create money to buy that thing and then purchase it. Now, how do I do that? I will tell you in a bit. So this is what I do. I will think before I purchase. Yes, I am also guilty of doing a lot of impulsive purchases, but normally those would be in small amounts and not very frequent. But yes, as a human being, I am going to do some impulsive buying also. But other than that, bigger expenses, I will take enough time to think. Third most important thing that I have learned over the period of years and decades, and I have practiced it a lot, is to make my financial decisions when I am emotionally stable, when my emotional state of mind is very, very stable, when I'm grounded. I will never make any financial decision when I am emotionally charged by any emotion that is not going to be stable. So I will have a very good state of mind whenever I will do the emotional decision making. I will do a lot of maths. I am a person who likes to play with the numbers, so I will do a lot of calculations. And only when I'm satisfied with those calculations will I make my decision. Because somewhere, sometime in some book I read that people may lie, but numbers don't lie. So I do a lot of number crunching, so to say. In fact, I have published a video on the YouTube channel by the name Your Own House or Financial Society. Make sure you watch this video. This video talks about all that maths that you need to do before you buy a house, right? So normally I will do this calculation. I will also take a very, very long-term view, right? And only after that I will do that decision. For example, very recently I have taken fancy to cycling. So I'm cycling for around 2 hours in a day. I'm going anywhere between 35 to 40 kilometers in a day. And recently I landed on the YouTube and saw a bike by the name Revo. It's a bike, it's a e-bike, electrical bike created in the Netherlands, one of the technological marvels. And I was instantly attracted towards buying it. So when I checked out the price of that Revo bike is around 2.5 lakh rupees. And then I would, if I would add some duties to it, if I wanted to buy it from Netherlands to India, it would make it maybe 3.5 lakhs. I don't know. But for sure on the higher side, it would be 3.5 lakhs. So what I did is I made a system. Now I created a goal for myself that okay, I want to buy this bike, and I have given myself 1 to 1.5 years to buy that bike. And now I am in the process of creating money for that. And whilst I am doing that, I am also creating yet another source of income for myself. I am doing it through a different methodology. Over the last 11 to 12 years, I have been doing some back testing on the stock market, especially in the domain of Nifty futures. So I have got some number crunching done, and now I am actually implementing that knowledge, that back testing to in real life. So I am investing in the Nifty futures and trying to create this money for that bike from that. Only time will tell whether I am successful with it or not. Not that I cannot afford this bike, I can afford it right now, but I choose not to do that, because in the long run, that will create for me a system that will create money forever. And I can then have my wants delivered through that system instead of me using the money that I already have. So this is how I think. This may give you some insight into what you could do with your money, how you could handle your money better. The fourth thing that I do is I have adequate financial protection. This is very, very important. I've analyzed the risk. Typically, any person like you and me, what kind of risk we'll have? We will have risk. When I say risk, I mean what is the financial risk I will have. So one risk is I will end up in a hospital, right? So if I end up in a hospital, there would be two reasons why would I end up in a hospital. I would have some disease, some ailment, some health illness, or I would meet with an accident and I would need a hospital treatment. In that case, I will lose a lot of money. So I will make sure that this risk is identified. Second thing is I will meet with an accident. In case I meet with an accident, then I will have financial risk in that I will need medical treatment. So there is a financial loss involved, and I will lose my income because I am not able to work. So that kind of risk identification happened. And the risk common to all of us is that of death. All these risks have financial implications. So I have analyzed these risks and I have taken the protection for myself against this risk through insurance. It is very simple, no rocket science, but many people don't do this. In India, less than 5% of the people who can afford to buy insurance are not insured. Why is it so? Because most people think that the cost of insurance is high. They don't need insurance. The second reason they don't buy insurance is they are very confident that somebody else will meet with an accident. I am never going to meet with an accident. I am very, very confident. I am never going to die early. I am going to live forever. That is the confidence most human beings have. What is the idea of insurance? The idea of insurance is you identify the risk and then you transfer the risk by paying a small amount. Now, in COVID times, you have seen so many people have gone through hospitalization. Now, the people who did not have health insurance made huge payments out of their pocket, out of their savings. Instead of that, if they chose to transfer that risk to an insurance company for a small fee, they would have been benefited in a much better way. Unfortunately, this is not what people do. Although they know that this should be the right way to deal with the problem, they will not do it. Because the greatest misery of life is most people know what to do, but a few people do what they know. Unfortunately, this is the ground reality. So that's all for now. Today we have discussed 4 things that I use myself to keep myself rich, to protect my money, to grow my money. This is what I do. You think about your life. You see what out of this you can use. Write in the comments below if anything of this is useful for you and how you intend to use it in your life. That's all for now. Bye bye. Take care. Have an abundant life. See you in the next week.